accomplished by having him speak to the media because he really couldn't comment on the case. He did want to point out that they're going to play the spring game this weekend, and just because a player isn't in uniform doesn't mean that that person is involved in this alleged sexual assault case. Gator, I'm uncomfortable even speculating as to what I think is going to happen with this case. You and I have worked together for a long time, and we've always said when it comes to college athletes, when they screw up off the field, it's our least favorite thing to talk about.
Yep.
It's not fun in any way. My college screw-ups, in my own mind, were legendary, dumb, stupid 18 to 22-year-old decisions that had zero long-lasting ramifications on my life. I'm embarrassed, but I didn't end up in jail or charged with anything. I think back to the mistakes that I made, and I'm embarrassed. I was not in the spotlight. You were not in the spotlight. Neither of us were an athlete of any kind. And I'm pretty sure you were never arrested or charged with anything.
Never charged with it.
Okay. But so I'm sympathetic to mistakes, but these are big ones, right? These are much bigger mistakes, potentially. You know, I don't even want to impugn anyone because there might not be charges brought here. And if the authorities come in and investigate it and decide there's nothing charge-worthy, it doesn't mean – if that happens, remember there's also a Title IX case, which could keep players – that get you kicked out of school.
Right, and there are some things that happen in college with athletes that I do brush off and say, look, that's just some kid dealing with stuff in college, and – it's not going to define him as a person. It's something that happens, and it happens to a lot of kids, whether it's – but I look at that for some of the smaller stuff, something like an MIP,
right?
A minor in possession of alcohol. Look, that happens. You know, it's not going to ruin your life. It's a ticket you get if you spend the night in jail for public drunkenness or something like that. All right, that's a little more serious, but again, it's not going to ruin your life. It shouldn't define you as a person. You start getting into this territory, and this is real serious stuff. And this is stuff that may define you as a person for the rest of your life. And you have to recognize that there are differences between, oh, that's just what happened in college, and, oh, this is a criminal activity. And I think that's important to make that distinction. And this is why this is so serious at Michigan State right now with these three players of what's going on. Because while charges have yet to be really brought forth, we still haven't, seen the end of this investigation. It's important to keep that in mind, that until that moment comes where they've been arrested, where there are charges brought up, that it's nothing that should end their careers at this point. We don't know what the story is. There are always multiple sides to a story.
Right.
So let it play out.
Meanwhile, in the background is the Dr. Larry Nassar case, but it's increasing heightened sensitivity to how everything is handled, and making sure they're doing things the right way. I don't think there's any need to be a rush. I'm just not so sure there was any point in having Mark Dantonio in front of the media today.
I think it's just a little bit of just getting out ahead of things because they've got the spring game coming up. That's what I think it is. And I think it's a preemptive, you know what? People are going to figure things out here quick enough because of the spring game. Let's just come out and say something. It should have been done weeks ago, in my mind, in my opinion. I think they should have been done.
You know why it wasn't done weeks ago, though? You know why it wasn't done weeks ago? Because they thought charges were going to be brought weeks ago. I think that's they probably thought charges were going to be levied, and then we'll comment. Remember that case got sent back.
This is like a full 2 weeks now, I think, since the I don't know, was it local police or was it
the Michigan State
DPS?
University Police? It was longer than that. They sent it to the district attorney, and the district attorney sent it back and said we need more evidence. Apparently, it said they need more evidence, and the Michigan State University Police has now submitted that.
And it's been 2 weeks.
We're kind of waiting for the results. Okay, 2 weeks since then. We're kind of waiting for the results of that. When I heard Mark Dantonio was going to speak today at 11 a.m., you know what my first thought was? We're going to find out if there were charges or not before 11 a.m. That's what I thought.
That was my thought as well, because this was a press conference that was abruptly put together. This wasn't something that was on the books for days and days. This was like, hey, last night at some point, Mark Dantonio will speak at 11 o'clock. What? Okay. All right, let's get things together here.
From the Karsch and Anderson inbox, that press conference was crap. Meanwhile, season ticket deadline is May 1st. Stalling, are we? Another one here. If I'm a suspended player, no, Mom, I wasn't involved in a sexual assault case. I just failed science. Don't worry, I'm okay. Another one. People associated with the allegations know who is associated. People who are associated with other suspensions know who they are. How about you respect the kids and don't talk about who is missing? You know what happens when you assume they all may be innocent. Okay,
they may.
With all respect due, of course they all may be innocent, and I don't know that anybody has tread more lightly on this topic or with respect to that than Gator and I. However, to expect that the media should not talk about who is missing, I mean, that's impossible. Because you know what? Aren't fans going to do it?
Yes.
Maybe all the guys are really involved. Maybe all the guys are really involved, but it would cause doubt for the media to speculate, taking some heat off the kids. Maybe all the guys are really involved, but it will cause doubt for the media to speculate, taking some heat off the kids. So, is he meaning everybody who's not playing in the game is involved? This is from Aaron. I think that's what he means. I don't think that's the case. I think it's pretty clear that it's just three players. 248-539-9797. Open lines. Ticket text 97136. All right, Bob Quinn did speak, the Lions GM, about a variety of topics at the beginning of the owners' meetings in Phoenix. We will hear what he had to say about a variety of things, like why go after offensive linemen and not defense in free agency? Is Adrian Peterson a potential Detroit Lion? What are your thoughts on Joe Mixon? Hear all that today at 12:32. Karsch and Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.